Well, Coach, you must have been pretty ecstatic with your defensive line start and their play throughout the game. But kind of talk about the start, that first series. It just seemed like they energized the team.
Well, I think it all starts back with the start of fall camp, and the guys were focused and locked in, and that led up to the mock week and leading up to the week of the game, and then walking through and seeing all the fans, and I mean the stadium was electric, so all of that feeds into it, and they were ready to play, and I'm proud of them because of that. And we always talk about the product that you put out on the field, make sure that you sign off on it, and I think they did that in week one.
Did any of the D linemen talk about those 100-degree Lewiston days after the game with you on some of the drills that you were putting them through?
Oh yeah, they always remember the dog days of summer, and that's all part of that process. And so when the going gets tough, I think that hey, we've been through some tough stuff, and that way we can raise the bar and we can get after them. Like when we had the turnover on our end, and we had to go back out on the field, and they were ready. There was no panic. There was no like, oh man, it was like, hey, let's go to work, and that's what they were able to do.
With this being your first year, did you come in and kind of sense in that first game, yeah, there's a bunch of veterans coming back and returning a lot of starters, but in that first game when they answered the bell, okay, this is a veteran-laden group?
No doubt. I mean, it just assured, the work that they had done up until that point, and you always like to see that, and as a new coach coming in, everything I do is evaluate, and evaluating the sidelines and how they're doing on the sideline, the teaching process, how are they accepting the adjustments and those things, because just because it's game day, there's still work to be done, and we continue to go on that route, and again, they did such a tremendous job. Was very proud of them. They played hard. There's things that we got to improve on, and that's what we're working on this week. And it's going to be another great challenge for us.
What have you seen on tape from maybe Boise State that, without giving up too much, you might harp on with the D-line and looking at the D-line, O-line battle?
They got two good quarterbacks, and they use both of them. They both got great strengths, and so we're going to have our hands full because of that. And they got some big guys up front, and they do a great job on the double teams. And so, we'll have to answer the challenge there, and we're going to have to make sure we play with low pad level. But ultimately, we got to make sure we bring our A game, because they're going to bring their A game for sure. We're going to be back in front of the home crowd, so we want to make sure we keep the momentum going. And so we're going to stick to our fundamentals and see where the chips fall on game day.
Is this one of the fastest D-lines you've ever coached?
That's hard to say. I mean, you got a guy like Daniel Ikuwale, who for a big guy, he can run really well, but he reminds me of Rashid Hageman that we had at Minnesota, and who's playing for the Falcons now. A big guy that can run, an athletic guy. And obviously, Daniel's not as tall, but he does a great job. And you got Hercules that can just find his way through creases and create havoc on the offensive side of the ball, and that's what you're looking for. So it's a fast group, and that's what Coach Grinch and the rest of the staff, that's what they've recruited. That's what they're looking for, and that's what it's good to have them out there, because they can fly around and cause some problems.
Thank you very much, Coach.